Thank you so much, family, for joining the live. We are on day 4 of our journey, our 21-day lesson to spiritual weight loss. One of our resolutions for the year. If your resolution is to shed weight, know that it starts from the inside out. There's not much you can do in the outer that will be long lasting if you don't deal with what is happening internally. Hi, Mother Earth. Thank you so much for joining the live. Yes, 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 family. We have got to fix our broken pieces. We have got to reconnect to our inner Christ, inner Buddha, inner Allah, whatever you call it. Okay? The spirit of the living God, which you are the body temple of. We must heal that from within if we expect to see lasting changes in our life, world, and affairs. And we're taking a resolution that's my resolution, as well as some of you who join the live. Your resolution is to shed the extra pounds. And so I am fully aware as a metaphysician that I of myself can do nothing. It's the God in me that can accomplish the mission and make the weight loss permanent. Thank you so much, Mother Earth, for agreeing. Wherever two or more are gathered. And so this is the way we win reparations. This is the way we win in our weight loss. Whatever the resolution, the only way out is from within. And I'm just so grateful to each and every one of you for touching and agreeing with me to spiritualize everything in our experience because it's so much less traumatic when we go within. I don't know how you feel, but yesterday, tearing down the wall, I'm still working through that exercise, family. And it ain't easy. It is not easy dealing with my stuff. Just when I thought I had overcome so much stuff, when I sat and allowed my inner Christ to guide me on the bricks that are within me that express in my body as the extra pounds I want to shed, I all I could do was simply shed tears. And a lot of it is the bricks of advocacy, the bricks of activism, the bricks that are there from the reparations fight, the bricks from seeing my mom lose her life after taking the booster, the bricks with a government whom I believe is intentionally neglecting us as their most loyal voter base since FDR. I had to write that out because there is no way I will have lasting change in the outer if I don't give this to God and release it from within. And I decided to act on this God idea in 23 because I, like many of you, are sick and tired of being sick and tired. You're sick of the Twitter wars. You're sick of the Racebook wars. You're sick of the ScrewTube wars. You want true freedom. And I wouldn't know how to teach it to you if I hadn't been a student of this work myself by way of the late, great Della Reese, Dr. Johnny Coleman, Dr. Reverend Mary Tumpkin. These were my spiritual giants, along with their contemporaries, that taught me how to be one with the one to become a manifesting machine. And so I'm here with my resolutions to help you with your resolution. And first on the top of the list, at the top of the new year, of course, is always to shed those pounds. But the pounds on the outside will only be shed once you shed the weight from the inside. And this is some real serious, tedious work. I do hope you're applying yourself and going through the first lesson in those exercises to look at every brick and identify what's holding you down, what's holding you back. Because we can't wait for reparations to direct deposit. We need to become 100,000-aire and multimillionaires right now. Wouldn't you agree? And the only way to do that is to be well in the body before you can be well outside the body, before you can be a manifesting machine in your finances, in your relationships, in your body, in your health. So I want to just remind you that you've got to do the work. You've got to do the work. Don't forget to do that exercise that we went over yesterday. You want to look at every brick in your life and you want to eradicate it with the help of your inner Christ. I'll just go over them quickly before I proceed to the next lesson. You want to examine the shame you feel behind decisions you've made, your anger, what's its origins, your fear, what are you afraid of, what are you lacking to forgive, what kind of judgment do you carry, what kind of disdain do you have, what are your excess responsibilities that are your bricks, what kind of pressure are you undergoing in the workplace and at home? What's causing you to feel exhausted and not wanting to get out of bed? What is burdening you? What is stressing you out? What are your heartbreaks that you continue to carry? Where do you feel injustice? That's a big one for me. I've only gotten this far as judgment on the list. That's how much I've got to excavate. That's how much I've got to give to God and release so that my weight loss this year will be lasting and no more yo-yo. Protection, pride, selfishness, jealousy, greed, laziness, separation, dishonesty, arrogance, inferiority, embarrassment, self-abnegation. You want to examine each of those areas, family, with a fine-tooth comb. And when you get stuck, ask your inner Christ, is there any more? Because you want to go deep. You want to dig this up from the root, and be done with it so that your body can be done with it. Because this doesn't just add excess weight to your family. Those bricks from within also cause heart disease, high blood pressure, diabetes, cancer. It will literally make you ill if you don't dig it up by the root. So without further ado, we have a pretty intense lesson tonight in lesson number 2. I know it's day 4, but we had some preliminary foundational groundwork to lay before we could actually get into the lessons. So I want to get into the lessons. I may jump around because it is a lengthy chapter. Do invest in this book. It's called A Course in Weight Loss, 21 Spiritual Lessons for Surrendering Your Weight Forever, by Marianne Williamson, our first presidential candidate to ever run on a reparations platform. This is one of many of her New York Times bestsellers. She wasn't just a presidential candidate. She is a spiritual counselor in my experience. And I'm grateful to her. She's truly gifted, truly anointed. So let's get on with today's lesson because we've got more homework. And if you haven't done yesterday's homework, please do it. Do yourself a great service and do the homework. If you need more instruction, listen to yesterday's archive to get those instructions, okay? Um, Also, make sure you're sitting in the silence to find out from your inner Christ what your life meal plan is. You want to appeal to your inner Christ for what your workout plan is, your life workout plan is. I do power walking in about 30 minutes worth of crunches, 20 to 30 minutes worth of floor work. Lost 20 pounds, gained a few pounds over the Christmas break. Thank you, Mother Earth. But yeah, I definitely am getting back to it. And this particular start to the new year is the way I get rid of it and stop the yo yo in my experience. So please sit with your inner Christ and ask what your life meal plan is, what your exercise regimen is. Your inner Christ will tell you what to put down for good, what's harmful to you. And your inner Christ is rather loving. So be loving to yourself. Don't beat yourself up. This is not a marathon. I'm sorry, it's not a sprint. It is a marathon. Because, like I said, the work is really being directed from within, where we fail to visit oftentimes. But it's time for us to get back to it. It's the way our ancestors prevailed. So, this lesson is called Thin You Meet Not So Thin You. Today's lesson involves your getting to know and to love the part of you that overeats. There are parts of you the way there are parts of the color blue. There's a pastel blue, which is blue mixed with white. There is a dark blue, which is blue mixed with black. There is purplish blue, which is blue mixed with red. All of them are blue, yet they are different hues of one color. The one thing they have in common is blue itself. So it is with you. Like everyone, you are a multi-dimensional being. There are many facets to you, all living together within your psyche. These differing cells are part of a mosaic that makes up the entirety of who you are. There is the you in which your basic identity is mixed with a healed heart and high self-esteem. That's you when you're happy, healthy, and successful. And then there is the you in which your basic identity is mixed with trauma and low self-worth. That's you when you're neurotic, compulsive, addictive, and so forth. What all of these parts of you have in common is you, manifesting in many different ways, depending on a variety of factors and experiences throughout your life. You might express beautifully, serenely, and lovingly in one aspect of your personality, yet meanly, frantically, and fearfully in another. Everyone is a mix of characteristics. Few people are all perfect or all imperfect, yet those places where you're imperfect are not where you're bad, they're simply where you're wounded. And what has wounded you in one way or another is fear itself. That's false evidence appearing real, family. For the overeater, food is an area where a spirit of fear has infected the nervous system in a particular area, like a virus in a viral computer, mixing all the settings and causing a malfunction. In other areas of your life, you might be competent and happy and successful. But when it comes to eating, a fundamental ingredient of a healthy life, it's as though wires have gotten crossed in your brain. What is healthy can seem good. What is good can seem boring. When the brain reports something as comforting that, in fact, is actually harmful, or the physical appetites crave what the body knows it does not want, this confusion of signals is so deep that the rational mind alone cannot fix it. Our lesson today involves the miraculous transformation of a certain part of you, not through denial, but through embrace. Your lesson today involves learning to love the not thin you, for she or he is nothing other than a product of fear, and fear, being the absence of love, is a call for love. A part of you that is a manifestation of fear cannot be transformed by fear. Miracles arise only in the spirit of love. The way to transform a malfunction is to treat it functionally. And your only true function is love. When you have surrendered yourself to the spirit of love, when you have allowed divine mind to enter the innermost chambers of your heart, when you have opened your eyes to the darkness within you and come at last upon the light, then fear will dissolve. And as the spirit of fear dissolves within your consciousness, love will heal you, body and soul. You're you, whether you're eating wisely or eating excessively. But when you're eating wisely, you're expressing love for yourself. When you're eating excessively, you're expressing fear. Love dissolves fear the way light dissolves darkness. Fat cells will dissolve permanently when they are dissolved through the power of love. Any reaction to your not thin self that is based on fear will only keep your excess weight in place. If the miracle you are seeking is the removal of excess weight, then learning to love all aspects of yourself, even her, the not so thin you, is your liberation. As counterintuitive as it sounds, it is your learning to love the not so thin you that will cause this aspect of yourself to disappear. She didn't ask to be here. She isn't comfortable here. She was summoned up by you. As you make her your ally rather than your enemy, she will disappear into the light of your true being. She is quite literally a manifestation of a ghost, a mere twisted thought given form by your subconscious mind. But before love or ultimate reality, all that is nothing. Nothing? How can that be? How can this problem be nothing? And herein lies the secret of miracles. That fear is as nothing before the power of God. Love is ultimately real because it is divine. Fear is ultimately unreal because it is not divine. In the presence of God's love, illusions disappear. I'm skipping around a little bit so we can get to the work. Developing your spiritual eye is the key to your transformation, for in filling your eye with light, darkness disappears. Your problem may be manifest on the level of the body, but it will be solved on the level of spirit. Learning to think about your problem in spiritual terms will lead you to its solution because it will release the power of your spirit to work on your behalf. As you learn to align your thinking with spiritual truth, then you will enter a dimension where nothing but love can touch you. Fear will be rendered inoperative and your compulsion will be gone. Hi, Gwen XOXO. Welcome to the live, my love. You are understandably ambivalent about developing a conscious relationship with the not so thin you, as you fear that in honoring her, you will be granting her permission to stay. Your natural inclination might be to think that in embracing her, you will fortify her presence. How could it be helpful to go toward that which one is hoping will go away? Yet, only by embracing her will you compel her to leave forever. It does feel odd that we should honor a part of ourselves that we do not want, but the not so thing you will not go away until she is listened to. You don't want her physical manifestation, but you do want a message that she carries with her. She is simply waiting for you to receive it, then she can go. Once she is accepted as the part of you that you have made a habit of disowning, she will dissolve into the nothingness from which she came. She will not leave until you love yourself, all of yourself, including her. And that's on period. Does a parent love a troubled child less than the untroubled child? In accepting the not so thin you are not accepting her weight. You are simply accepting her. And in accepting her, you are accepting the totality of yourself as an aspect of yourself. Not so thin you longs for nothing more than to be congruent with every other part of you. When she is accepted for who she is, she will become who she truly is. She will merge into the gestalt of your highest functioning self, which, among other things, inhabits your physical body at its perfect weight. Part of your inner conflict is that while your conscious mind feels a level of disdain for not so thin you, your subconscious mind feels quite at home with her. On a subconscious level, you might feel more comfortable within a larger body. There is something you allow yourself when you are manifesting as the not so thin you. At times, she feels more like the real you. Consciously, you feel like thin you is the real you, while the not so thin you is the imposter. But subconsciously, you feel like the not so thin you is the real you, and the thin you is the imposter. As you transform, as you learn to be fed love by love itself, you will stop looking to food for what food cannot feed you. You will learn a new set of habits. When you are about to put something into your mouth that you know is not healthy, either in quantity or quality, you will love yourself too much to continue. You will stop, take a deep breath, and feel love into your mouth instead. Love will travel down through your throat and enter every cell of your being, healing it and returning it to divine right order. This process will actually shrink your stomach by building and repairing your system of physical appetites. Today, you'll begin a new relationship with a part of yourself you kept out of your heart. For in keeping her out of your heart, you've kept her on your body. Until you do this, you will continue with what years of habit have taught you to do with conflict. Reach for food as someone else might reach for a drink or a drug. Your pain is exacerbated by the fact that other addictions can be kept secret, at least for a length of time. Yours cannot, which increases your self loathing, which increases your conflict, which increases your eating, which increases your weight, which increases your suffering until God steps in. This lesson establishes an honorable and honoring connection with a particular aspect of yourself, the not so thing you, based not on disgust but on appreciation. As you build this relationship, reintegrating an aspect of yourself that clearly will not be denied anyway, then you will regain your authority as ruler of yourself. What you do not love, you do not understand. And what you do not understand, you cannot negotiate. Learning to love the not so thing you, bringing him back into the circle of your compassion, you will gain dominion over your life. Love will harmonize your internal kingdom. This aspect of you only appears as large because she feels you are not looking at her and she is trying to tell you something. He will not go away until he is accepted for who he is. Once he does feel accepted back into your heart, he will automatically respond to your desire that he manifests differently. Metaphysically, this is called shape shifting. Your goal is not to push her out, but to let her in. At that point, having been physically reintegrated into your spirit, she will have no further need to manifest physically at all. So, we're going to move next into reflection and prayer. And this is where you're going to hear your assignment. Okay? You must finish the assignment from yesterday and you must get into this assignment. If you're angry at someone, then it's hard to just say, I love you, I love you. And that's it. All is forgiven. Sometimes you have to express your upset with that person before you can forgive him or her. How can you come to love the not so thing you when somewhere in your heart you probably hate her? In A Course in Miracles, it said that miracles are born of total communication, given and received. There's no point pretending that it's easy to love the not so thing you, given how much pain, shame, fatigue, and self-hatred she's caused you. You might intellectually understand that she's a manifestation of your thoughts, but that doesn't of itself make her go away. What you're going to do now is to initiate a dialogue with the not so thin you based on honesty and transparency. A part of you has dissociated from another part of you. That dissociation has led to a profound dysfunction, as one part of you has acted against the interest of the other. It's time to integrate the different parts of yourself in order to end the battle that's been raging within you. It's time to write a couple of letters. It's time for peace talks, family. So this is your homework. Having asked your inner Christ, your divine mind, to guide your process, settle into a relaxed space. Now, with your inner eye, your third eye, which is your first eye in the middle, see the not so thin you standing before you. Begin a dialogue with her. Open your heart and allow a process of communication between these two aspects of yourself to unfold. Your work here is to share your truth, to tell the not so thin you how you really feel, how you feel she has ruined your happiness, how much you hate her, even if indeed you do. Include the I hate you, get out of my life type of things. This letter is for no one's eyes but yours alone. But it is an important thing to write. You're not writing these things in order to attack the not so thin you, but simply to communicate with him, to begin a dialogue with her that allows you to surrender thoughts that are already there, but that, if unexplored, remain as toxins in your system. Although the point is not to hate the not so thin you cannot get to love without first acknowledging what stands in the way. Once you have told your truth to the not so thin you and then allowed her to respond, you will learn a very important truth. She does not stand before you craving food. She stands before you craving love. As with the writing you did regarding the bricks in the wall, neither rush through this process nor leave anything out. Tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Now, I'm going to read you a letter expressing how this one particular woman named Beatrice actually communicated to her not so thin self. And then I'm going to read to you what her not so thin self said in response. Now, Beatrice's letter is harsh. When I go to write my letter, I'm not going to be this harsh with my not so thin me. So you get to choose how you express to your not so thin you, and then what you document when you sit in the silence to let your not so thin you talk back as you record what she's got to say. Let's get into it. Dear fat ass, I know your lumps and bumps are merely a navigational reminder of where you have been, of the things that were out of your control and happened early on. When bad things happen to little girls, all of that, the story, the event, but now you are the event. He no longer has control over what happens to you, fatty. The double cheese pizza and nachos are no longer where it's at. You are here. You can celebrate your fierceness that was born with me, skinny you, long ago when you stood up and spit in his face. With push-ups and cute bras, that miracle of a miniskirt that has been hanging in your closet since 1992, with bike rides and mountain climbing and long swims in the sea. Not with the hourly walk to the fridge to see what might make fat you feel better in the middle of the night. He's not coming for you anymore. You made sure of it years ago. We did it together. Put down the fork and pick up the fight. Put the cheeseburger down and go for a hike in beautiful Hollywood. Walk the streets and listen to your music. Let Bob Dylan tell you how it is. Listen to Bono and let those hips subside. I'm here. I'm waiting for you. It's getting annoying, fatty. The tires belong on your car, not your midsection. How can your spirit dwell proudly in an excess of 40 pounds? How can your dance moves come out to play if you can't make it for longer than 2 hours in those heels? I'm not mad at you. I'm just impatient. I want you to live your life fully, unapologetically, with your head up and your chin in, singular. The warrior you have so long searched for is right there inside of you. I am her. I am you. Let me take over. I'm stronger than he ever was, and I am stronger than you. Say yes to bikini summers and a long, radiant life. Say no to pasta and cake. Or maybe just take one bite. Love always, in largeness or a size 2, but come on already, skinny Beatrice Badass. Now, having completed your letter to the not-so-thing you, now allow her to write you back. Allow her to tell you what she wants to say. Your subconscious mind is delivering the messages you need to hear and the images you need to see. Listen deeply and write down what you feel is her truth. It's there. Beatrice continued. Now, this is her not-so-thing you talking back to her. F you, she calls her dear skinny. F you. It's not easy, sister. It's a daily siege of sliding 180 pounds into jeans that barely button. I know the answers. I'm having a hard time, okay? I know I'm not really an elephant. Without this unflattering excess million pounds of sadness and fear all piled unceremoniously on my ass and thighs and belly, I am actually a yogi acrobat. A lotus hovering 3 feet off the ground and spinning somersaults while gracefully holding up bills, groceries, car payments, and life. But it just so happens that at the moment, I am a large yogi stuck on planet Earth in flats. Cartwheels are a distant dream, but I hear you. I know he's gone. It's just taken me a minute, 30 years long, to fully know that his face is not the face of every man I meet, that I do not need to recreate him, that once was more than enough. This cellulite is my force field, my invisible shield, my insurance policy. Fat ass equals no possibility of getting hurt. Not able to get into a beautiful dress and rock the dance floor means no evil jackass will have the opportunity to get up in this beautiful mess and cause another hurricane, another tornado, a volcanic siege. Alone in bed with Luda, the greatest dog ever to live, plus a large pizza with extra sausage and cheese equals easy and safe. Beautiful and sexy means open for hurt. Is this resonating with any of you? Listen, skinny superhero, give me a minute. I am getting there. I have found the yoga studio and there are avocados in the fridge. The sun is shining today and there is work to be done. I am dreaming of 100 easy sit-ups and that beautiful sheer tank top with the flowers on it. I'm in, okay? Jeez, you are a pain in the gigantic ass. But I love you for always being with and within me. In solidarity of spirit, not thigh circumference, your fat self. Do not underestimate, this is in closing, the power of writing these letters. Building this relationship between thin you and not so thin you is the beginning of your reconciliation with a part of yourself that belongs inside, not outside your castle doors. And the closing prayer, well, not the absolute closing prayer, but a prayer that I've modified at the end of this lesson is, Dear God, thank you for forgiving me if I have failed to love every part of your creation. Open my eyes that I might see. Soften my heart that I might love. Open my mind that I might understand every aspect of myself. Heal my relationship with all of me that I might suffer no more such violence toward myself. Thank you for helping. Oh, I'm so sorry, family. Hold on. Let me silence that. Thank you for helping me, for by myself I cannot win this war. Thank you for lifting me above the battlefield to the peace that lies beyond. Thank you, God, for answered prayer. And so it is. So, family, that was an example of how you should proceed with your letters. I intend to be a lot more gentle, but I mean, it takes what it takes. I'm definitely going to let my not so thin me write the letter from within. I'm going to listen. I also want to let you know that I don't write all of this out as too much. I type it out. And what I also do with the brick exercise, with all of it, I'm typing it. I've created a folder so I can type it because there's so much coming out when I sit to do the homework. I intend, and another good thing about typing it out is that I intend to have my own burning bowl with it until it disappears from my experience. Those bricks, that is. I'm going to be able to type all of it out and then burn it and release it. Okay. And you can do that as well. You can make up your own spiritual practice on how to get reconnected with your indwelling Christ and how to get to release the things in your experience you don't want. There's no one size fits all when it comes to this. This is something you've got to sit and meditate on and allow your inner Christ to guide you and to tell you and to order your steps. It will look different from my practice. It will look different from anybody's practice that you see. You may borrow from other people's practices. But the most important thing you could ever do for yourself is to at least do the homework, because this is not something you can just gloss over. We're seeking to release the weight and whatever ails us for good. That requires work. And the biggest work is from within. The same is true for reparations. It's not coming as long as we continue to fight for it. We must go to the only source that can make that happen. My inner Christ has to touch your inner Christ and agree that reparations is our birthright. It is an inheritance that we are long overdue. And we can either go about it chaotically, where our health is so debilitated that we won't enjoy it, or we can go about that work in the spirit. And that's what I'm choosing to do in 23. And I'm grateful for those of you who are along with me for the journey. Remember, family, this is only going to be live in my advocacy space through Tuesday. Come Wednesday, it will have a life of its own over at Nirvana World TV. Its first broadcast, Metaphysically Speaking. I do hope you are sure to like, share, subscribe, turn on your notifications over there, because I will not be streaming to the advocacy space after Tuesday. I'm just trying to be here long enough for those who like to catch on to find out what I'm doing in 23 to join me over in Nirvana World TV. And with that being said, family, let me conclude with our denial, affirmation, and closing prayer. Pain, sickness, poverty, old age, nor death can master me, for they are not real. I am spirit, perfect, whole, harmonious, and complete. Nothing can hurt me or make me sick, broke, or afraid, for spirit is God, and God is never sick, never broke, never hurt, nor afraid. I manifest my real self through this body right now. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us, and the presence of God watches over us. Wherever Friedman and its allies are, God truly is. Because, family, you are the face of God. Yes, you are the voice of God. You are the body temple of the Spirit of the living God. If no one's told you today how much they love you, know that I love you black and I love you Friedman strong. And until we meet again tomorrow, I want you to make it a beautiful, God-inspired rest of your evening. Until next time, family, peace, love, light, and blessings abound.